In this video, we're going to take a closer look at and unbox this ShotScope G6 GPS golf watch. Now this is a brand new offering just available today from ShotScope, and in this video I'll tell you everything you need to know about this product and show you exactly what comes inside the box, and we'll also get it set up and running so you can see what the watch looks like on the wrist and when it's actually switched on. Now after watching this video, if you're interested in buying the ShotScope G6, I've put my exclusive 15% discount code and affiliate link in the description and comments area below, and that will actually work on all ShotScope products site-wide. So let's take a closer look at what comes inside the box of the ShotScope G6. So this is the ShotScope G6 box here. We'll take a closer look at that in just a second. And I also have a couple of straps here. So the watch itself comes inside here and you fit your own straps. And the great thing about this is you can choose the strap colors that suit you, which means you can mix and match it with different outfits. So I've got a pink one here and a black one, and we'll connect this to the device in this video. Now the ShotScope G6 box here, very similar to other ShotScope products. In fact, I have the G5 box here, and you'll see that visually they are actually very similar, both in terms of the product themselves and the packaging. So it's consistent with the rest of the ShotScope packaging in terms of this basic white and blue, but I always think it's nice looking. We've got on the back some of the key features. So you'll see with the G6 you get front, middle and back GPS distances. So this is really useful on the golf course if you are not a pin seeker but you want to look for specific parts of the green. You can use these yardages. You also have hazards and layup points. So this will display any of the hazards on the hole, for example on the fairways or next to the fairways or next to the greens, whether they're bunkers or water hazards. It will have different icons to indicate those, and it will also tell you which sides of the fairway or green those are located on. And not only do you get a GPS distance to reach the hazard, but you also get one to cover that hazard, and it gives you layup points as well if you're playing a hole that has for example a par 5 and you want to know if you are going to lay up and leave yourself 100 yards, how far do you have to hit. So it gives you all of that useful information to help with your course management. There is a built-in scorecard. Now the G6 is a GPS watch. It is not a performance tracking watch where you get access to your performance stats like the V3, the H4 handheld, the V5 or the X5 models. So this is solely for GPS purposes, and therefore the built-in scorecard is useful during your round, but there's no value with that after you finish. So once you have marked your, maybe transferred the information from your watch scorecard, written it down onto your main scorecard, that's then lost. It's not tracked in your ShotScope account like it would be with those other devices. So it's very much a scorecard to just save you having to use a paper scorecard during your round. You also have the large digit display here. So on the watch itself, when you're using it in GPS mode, it will say front, middle and back, or it'll be front at the bottom, middle, center, back at the top. Instead of seeing front and back, you can basically just have the center yardage displayed in large writing. It's actually quite a nice, neat feature for those of you who just want to go for the middle of the green and aren't interested in those other distances. There are now full hole maps which you won't get on the G5 model, and those basically look like this. So very similar to the ShotScope X5 and V5 models, you get these color illustrations of the hole that you're playing. You'll see how far you have to hit to various points on the hole. You'll see where the bunkers and whatnot are located, and you'll be able to see the shape of the hole and the green, and these are very, very useful. And then finally, 36,000 golf courses. So the great thing about this device is that those golf courses are preloaded onto it, and pretty much every course worldwide. ShotScope also do the mapping themselves, and therefore if for any reason the course you are going to play is not yet mapped, you can submit a request to ShotScope and they will map it for you, usually within around 48 hours. So pretty much most courses, if not every course I've tried to play, has always been available and will be on the device straight away. So we'll take a look inside the box in just a second. The main thing with these straps here is you'll notice that they come in their boxes, and therefore the watch itself or the device is inside this box, but it doesn't have the straps attached. So we're going to have to connect one of these straps to the watch, but it's a really straightforward and easy thing to do. So let's just get this opened up. So I'll get my knife here and we'll just make a little slice along the top here, and we'll then take a look at what comes inside the box. So you'll see here, if we pull out this tray, I'll just put the box to one side, we have an instruction manual, we have a connection cable for charging it, and the G6 device itself there. So let's start quickly with the quick start user guide. This is something that ShotScope I think do really well. They usually just give you a fairly basic and easy to follow user guide that is designed to just get you up and running super quick. You'll notice that there's different steps here. 3 main steps. You charge your device, download the ShotScope app, connect your device to the app, and then you can also scan this QR code to view the full user guide. There are also some quick tips here that you can follow. So there should be enough here to get you started, but if for any reason you need more help and support, you can view the entire full user guide that explains exactly how to use the watch, but it's very intuitive. With regards to the ShotScope mobile app, you don't need this at the beginning, so if you want to go straight to the golf course with your device after you've charged it, you can. The purpose of the app for the G6 model is to allow you to synchronize course updates with your device and also firmware updates. The other benefit is if you need to change the time and date when you connect to the app, it will do that automatically for you. So the app is really used for updates to your G6 device. So we'll just pop that to the side for now. But then we have the charging cable here. This is very much what ShotScope have used for the X5 and V5 models. You'll see here it's not USB-C or micro USB. It is USB in terms of where you're using it for the power source, but it is ShotScope's own connection here. And if I just lift the unit out, you'll see it just slots into the back here. Now I've never had a problem with these. I think they connect really nicely. They have a slightly longer cable than I think they used to provide, which is great, but it fits in snugly and you can pull it out and clip it back in. So there's no risk of that just pulling itself out or being quite temperamental. I think it's a fairly good design. What ShotScope have mentioned is that they are aware they don't use micro USB or USB-C. That's for a reason. It keeps the device nice and slim like it is just now, lightweight, and it probably offers us a little bit of a cost saving because presumably other technologies that other people use may cost a little bit more money. So we're getting a nice neat device here. I wouldn't be surprised in future if ShotScope moves into the USB-C route like most other manufacturers, but for now it is ShotScope's own connection cable. And then you'll see the device here has a circular screen and we have 4 buttons. We've got 2 on either side that are used to control it. So it's not a touchscreen device, it's controlled using these 4 buttons. And we can just peel a little protective layer off here. And you'll see I've got a pairing code here, so it's actually trying to connect to my phone already. If I press back, we get back to this view here. Now, before we connect this to our phone, what we're going to do is we're going to connect the strap. So let's take one of these straps out of this box. Let's go for this pink one here. And you'll see it comes in 2 parts. We'll just pull this out. And this is basically a special dust resistant strap, so it's really soft, it's really durable, and the sand or dirt on the golf course shouldn't be sticking to this. Buckle one goes at the top, flat part goes at the bottom, and then basically there's just this little pin here that you can slide across, connect that part in, then you connect this part into the other side, and then you just flick that down when you're done. I would say out of the whole ShotScope process, this is probably the most fiddly part. So you'll see there's a hole there. We're going to drop that pin into there, then we're going to slot that in, and we've managed that first time, which is really good. So we'll pop the pin down there, that's that one locked in position, and then we'll take this one here, we'll do the same. So we slide that pin down, let's drop it into that hole, then we've got to move this down, and as I said, it can be a little bit fiddly. That's that clipped in, and then we have the strap in position like this. So let's just pop that onto my wrist just now. So it's a really comfortable strap, as I said. It's super lightweight, the watch, and to be honest, the more often I play golf with these ShotScope devices, I usually just tend to forget I've even got the watch on my wrist. Now you'll see the nice thing at the strap here, it's quite lengthy. There are lots of slots here, so even if you're somebody who's got slightly wider wrists, you shouldn't really have a problem finding a fixing point. And then the little loop that is the secondary loop has a nib on it that can drop into one of those holes. So basically that's not going to go anywhere. And that's the watch on my wrist there. And then to take it off, let's just pull it out. And what I'll do is I'll show you it side by side with the G5. So the G5 model's on the right, G6 on the left. You'll see they are very, very similar. They've kind of swapped where the G5 and G6 logos go. But the biggest difference is we have a square screen here on the G5, and then we've got that nice rounded one on the G6, which I think is much better looking, and it displays the information in a nicer way than the slightly older G5 model. But apart from that, visually, they are very, very simple and similar. Now you'll see here, if we want to get this up and running, we don't necessarily need to connect to the ShotScope mobile app straight away. What we could do is just press on skip, and then it asks me to set the time manually. So if I want to just set the time just now, let's say that it is, let's go for 17. And we'll just go for 03, move to select, and then we'll confirm. And then the date here, so we're going to just put in that it's I think we're the 23rd of March. Now the benefit of doing this with the ShotScope app, if we were to pair it, is that it's going to do this automatically for us because it knows what month it is. But let's say, for example, you don't have your phone handy or any charger, you've not yet created a ShotScope account or downloaded the app, and you just want to go and play golf with the device, then you can just do it manually like this, confirm, and you'll see we are up and running. So there is the display here. Now this is using this clock face. There are lots of other clock faces available and various settings. I'm not going to go through them in this video, but I will create a separate tutorial, which if it's available, I'll link to in the card above in the description below. But if I just go into settings, I'll see if we have a demo mode in here that I can show you. There we go. And this will just let you see basically what the watch looks like in terms of display. So this is your kind of general golf mode where you get front, middle and back information. You get your score on the side there. If we go to the next screen, this is your whole overview maps, and you'll notice I can move this point up and down. So this lets me know how far to reach, for example, that bunker on the left is about 175, to clear on both, 217. So I can see from where I'm currently located what club I might want to use. And that will be to the distance to the centre of the pin from wherever it is. We'll see here we also have hazards. So you can quite clearly see there, location on the side of the fairway and the type of hazard, and then the distance to reach and to cover that hazard. And then if we go to select, we'll get that useful layup information, and you'll get this view for your green where you can actually move the pin around, and as you're moving the pin, you'll notice that the numbers at the top update. So this is now going to give me an accurate yardage to that location on the green. Then we get a scorecard, so you'll be able to go through it and enter your score, and you'll be able to view it like this. It'll give you a cumulative score to par at the top, and then your score per hole. And you can even see how far you hit your last shot. So if you think you've driven at 300, you can do a quick check and see. So that is basically the ShotScope G6 unboxed and a quick look at some of the key features. As I said, we can also connect this to the ShotScope mobile app, which allows us to update our courses or check for firmware. But if you just want to take it straight out of the box and head to the golf course, then you can just do that. Now I am looking forward to trying this out on the golf course. I'm going to thoroughly test it in order to produce a decent review for you guys. I'm also going to create a general how to use the G6 and all of its settings video as well, so do keep an eye out for those on my YouTube channel and on my golf blog. So there you have it, that's a first look at the brand new ShotScope G6. I think this is going to be a big hit for ShotScope, certainly in terms of the devices where people are looking for the GPS functionality at an affordable price and maybe aren't too concerned about the performance tracking element that's offered with the V5 or the X5 models. Thanks so much for watching this video. Remember, there is that handy 15% discount code in the description and in the comments area below. And if you have any questions about the G6 or any other ShotScope products, then make sure you drop them below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.